What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Educated Barfly. Today's Home Bar Basics episode is going to be all about the mechanics of stirring a cocktail, and we are very proud to be sponsored by the Elan Collective for this episode. The Elan Collective makes some bartending kits, a stirring kit, and a couple of rocks glasses kits, and I thought it might be kind of fun to do this as sort of an unboxing episode to see what you get. We are heading into the holiday season pretty soon, and you guys are going to have to start thinking about gifts for people, and I think that these would be just fantastic gifts. The other thing that I thought was pretty awesome is that this was designed in, it says designed in Newton, Massachusetts and Hamburg, Germany, and I was born in Newton, Massachusetts, so I just thought that was like a fun little kind of cool thing. But I did... Although we're doing this as an unboxing episode, I actually did unbox this stuff and take a look at the quality, and I was really kind of amazed by it. So this little kit comes with this little nice tube. So let's pull it out. And what you get in this kit, which is their stirred cocktail kit, is a stirring spoon, which I really like. And what I like about it is that they actually... The style of spoon that they gave you actually has a muddler on the end of it, so you can actually like muddle things with it, and it actually makes a pretty good ice chipper. So it's a pretty functional spoon. And then secondly, they just got this really cool kind of Hawthorne strainer. Now, a lot of people would say, well, yeah, you need a julep strainer, but actually, when Hawthorne strainers, coiled strainers are made to fit mixing glasses, they actually work really well. So this is just like really nicely designed. And you know, I'd really like to say that bartending is about skill and talent, and it's about hospitality, but it's also about making things look beautiful. So when you use beautiful gear to make people drinks, they notice it, and it actually makes the experience better for them. So I am all about using functional, well-made, beautiful gear. And then the last thing, and most, I guess, arguably important thing in this is the mixing glass, which I love. It just has such a nice shape. I'm going to throw out the packaging. That packaging. It has such a nice shape. It's so well done. It's so beautifully made. And this comes in a Uri style, which is this kind of cross-hatch design on the mixing glass, and it also comes in a plain mixing glass that doesn't have the cross hatches, but I really like the cross hatch one, so that's what it looks like. I really just love the kind of triangular shape of this. It's just really beautiful. Cool, so now let's talk about stirring cocktails, and I'm going to address a whole bunch of things about stirring cocktails. The first thing that I kind of struggled with was whether or not I was going to do this with water and ice just to show you the stirring. But I decided against it, and I decided that I was just going to actually make you a cocktail, especially because the density of these different, like the spirit and the vermouth they're different densities, and so they react in the glass differently. So I just thought, you know what, let's just make a cocktail, like a real cocktail for this to really show you what's going on. So let me just quickly make this Manhattan. All right, the first thing that I'm going to say about this as we add our stirring ice is that you want to, when you're making drinks for people, you always chill the glass. Now, I have not chilled this glass, and the reason, you know what, hold on, I'm going to crack this actually. So it can actually use the spoon, which is great for cracking ice. You do want to have some small pieces of ice in there, and you want to have some large pieces of ice in there. So the first thing you want to do, let's get back to what I was saying. The first thing that you want to do is you want to chill the glass. Now, I haven't chilled the glass because I think it's really important in this particular episode that you actually see what's going on in this glass as we stir. But if you're making this for somebody, you're going to want to chill your glass, you want to chill your mixing glass, you want to have everything chilled. And the reason why is because Manhattans and things that are served up, where you're using a stirring glass, are what I call unstable cocktails, meaning that as soon as you take them off ice, you've lit a fuse to them getting warm. So you want to make sure that everything is cold. But today we're going to be using unchilled glasses. The other thing that's going to be really important about stirring cocktails is your ice choice. Now, I got into a little bit of trouble over some of the earlier episodes that I did because I would say stir 30 times, but then people would count my stirs and then comment that well, you stirred 80 times, you stirred 100 times. I counted 106. But the thing is that when I was doing those episodes, I was trying to standardize the amount of stirs because I had no idea what type of ice you were going to use. The higher quality ice that you use, the more you're going to have to stir it. The longer you're going to have to stir it to get it chilled. The purpose of stirring is to get something very cold. And you do get things very cold for shaking, but when you shake, you're adding a lot more dilution to the cocktail than when you stir. So what you're doing is adding a controlled amount of dilution and chilling the cocktail down to below freezing. So that's the other thing, is that the freezing temperature of alcohol is lower than the freezing point of water. So technically what you do is you add your ice, and when you start to stir, you can, if you're using high quality ice, chill the cocktail down to -3 Celsius, which is going to be about your target, okay? And then it'll actually be colder than the ice that chilled it for a little while. And you want that to happen because you need it to be as cold as possible so that when you serve it to your guest, they have at least, 15 to 20 minutes before it gets warm. And there's nothing more terrible than like a warm stirred cocktail. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our spoon and we're gonna put it in. And the name of the game is not to do this. You don't wanna do that. You're not stirring stew, okay? You wanna hold it like so, and you wanna work the spoon in between your thumb and your forefinger, right? Using your, I guess, ring finger to stabilize it. And you want to keep it on the outskirts of the glass outside the ice. Now, the length of stirring is going to vary depending on what kind of ice you have. If you're using hotel quality ice, you can still chill a cocktail down properly, but you're going to have to stir a lot less because that ice has a lot of minerals in it and it's got a lot of air pockets in it. It's very thin ice, and so it is going to melt a lot faster. Luckily, what we've got right here is a very thick, very dense ice that was made with a Kleinbell machine, so it's going to be a lot denser, which means that it's going to need a lot more stirring. So we're going to stir it down. Now when you have thicker pieces of ice, you can't really do it in here because our ice is a little bit smaller, but we have thicker pieces of ice, you can actually lift it to try and check the dilution. And basically what you're trying to do is, if you know what 3 ounces of liquid looks like in a glass, and you know that the ice is displacing the liquid, you can actually lift it up a little bit to lift the ice a little bit up out of the glass. I do it with Old Fashions a bunch to see the difference in level of water. That's one way to check the dilution. It's not very scientific. It's something that I've been doing for a long time. The other way that you can check dilution is just to check the, another kind of non-scientific way is to check the chill on the outside of the glass. So you'll see that it starts getting chilled on the outside of the glass. Now, and I'm not going to say you shouldn't do this, and I'm not going to say you should do this, but for those who really want to figure out how many stirs it takes to really chill a cocktail, you can actually get a digital thermometer, which I have done in the past, and actually put it into your cocktail as you stir, little by little, to see how long it's going to take you to get down to that -3 Celsius. And then you'll know it's 40 stirs, or it's 30 stirs, or it's 20 stirs, and you can kind of count your stirs and do it that way, which in the beginning of my career I did. Now, it's a little bit more, second nature to me because I've been doing it for so long. But when we pour this into the cocktail glass, you're going to see whether or not it's over diluted, because you'll be able to check whether or not it's going to come way up to the rim of the glass and overflow. So then what you do is you want to take your strainer. In this case, we have this beautiful, nicely designed Hawthorne strainer. I'm going to put it into our glass. And what you kind of want to do with this is sort of check what's called close the gate, which is sort of just push this down a little bit, which tightens the coils, which means that any other bits of ice in there are going to not get into your cocktail, because you want this to be like a clean cocktail. And then you just pour it. And there you have it, right there. We've got a nice wash line. It's not complete. It's not all fully to the top of the glass. You want to make sure that you have that nice wash line because when you pick it up, you don't want to spill it. You want to be able to make sure you give it to a cocktail waitress if you're at work and she's not going to spill it as she brings it to the table. And there you have it. So that's the mixing set. I think it's awesome, and I think that you guys should definitely check it out because it's really great. So that's now we're going to move on to the rocks glass set that they make. They make two different styles of rocks glasses. We're going to unbox these here. And what I love about this is that they actually give you a little ice ball mold that you can make. So you can put you can just like, it's got a hole in the top. You just put water up into the hole, you fill it to the top, you set it in your freezer, and you freeze it. And we're also gonna do like another type of stirring, but I just wanna show you this other style. It bears mentioning that all of these are dishwasher safe, so you can put them in the dishwasher, which is great because you don't have to worry about cleaning them by hand, and you can just throw them in the dishwasher when you're done. I'm going to show you a different type of stirring here because there are some people who will make an old-fashioned by building it in a mixing glass and then pouring, but I would argue that that's not the best way to make an old-fashioned because you're going to lose some of the sugar in the old-fashioned and it's just an extra step. So if you're at work and you make it into a mixing glass and then you pour it in here over ice, you don't have to worry too much about dilution because, like I said, that liquid alcohol, that alcohol mixture is really cold. So it's not going to over dilute or anything, but you're going to be losing some of the cocktails. So I like to make any type of old fashions, whether the old fashions or improved whiskey cocktails, anything that's made like a stirred rocks drink in the glass itself, and it just takes half of the work away, right? So we're just going to put our bitters in there, right? And another function for the spoon is we put our sugar in for our old fashioned. We got a muddler on the end of the spoon that they provided us with so we can actually just muddle down the sugar. And then add our whiskey. And then grab our ice, which is, you know what? I'm going to grab another piece. It's a little bit too melted. Hold on one sec, guys. Cool. I grabbed a couple pieces of ice, but just set that in there. So, if this were too big to fit in the glass, this is a great tool to be able to just like chip the ends off. I'll hold it away so it doesn't go anything. But chip the ends off like that and then add it. So this spoon is great because it's a multi-use spoon. It's pretty loud. There we go. So as we're mixing, in this set we have this nice multi-use spoon. We've got this like wonderfully designed glasses. Everything's really heavy. Everything's really quality, dishwasher safe, and everything's beautiful. So I guess that's it for the mechanics of stirring. I hope you learned a lot. And if you have any questions, please put a comment below. Also below in the show notes, I'll put all of the information to the website for the Elon Collective so you can take a look at what they make. And I would say, hey, since, the holidays are coming up, order some people some mixing stuff and get people making cocktails. Then you guys can come back and look at all our stirred cocktail episodes. See you next time.